हमारे आइलैंड्स के ताज़ा खबरों और इम्पोर्टेंट अपडेट्स से जुड़े रहे। भरोसेमंद और पक्की जानकारी सीधे अपने फ़ोन पर पाने के लिए न्यूज़ आप तक व्हाट्सएप चैनल को अभी फॉलो करें।
Request the gathering to make a countless applause for our honorable chief. I also humbly request the team to kindly present the way to our esteemed chief guest.
Your presence today adds grace and significance to this occasion. We are privileged and fortunate to have you with us. As forward. Your presence today adds great value to this gathering.
Kindly join me in extending a warm welcome to our very esteemed Secretary Health, Professor Bharat. Your presence today adds grace and significance to this occasion. We are privileged and fortunate to have you with us. Please put your hands together as we are delighted to welcome our distinguished Director of Health Service, Dr. H.M. Bharat. We are grateful for your presence, sir. We are equally delighted to welcome Director Innings, Dr. M.K. Shah, whose commitment to medical education and healthcare inspires us all. Your presence today has great value to the gathering. With a heartfelt delight, we also welcome our respected dignitaries, Diksha-Nitras, doctors, officials, colleagues, NTP staff, and all invitees who have kindly accepted our invitation and joined us here today. Your presence inspires us and reaffirms the importance of this gathering. Sarva Santo Niramaya, Share Mukt Bharat. This slogan is derived from the Vedic prayer, Om Sarva Bhavantu Sukhina. This Sanskrit slogan translates to, may all be free from illness, specifically TB, a TB-free India. Ladies and gentlemen, the 24th of March every year marks the day since 1882, when Dr. Robert Koch founded the scientific community by announcing in Berlin the discovery of the cause of tuberculosis, the TB vaccines, microbacterial tuberculosis. This discovery opened the way towards diagnosing and curing TB. It is through this breakthrough that World TB Day is commemorated every year on the 24th of March and is designed to build public awareness that tuberculosis remains an epidemic in much of the world, causing the death of millions of people, especially in developing countries. Today is the day when we can make a renewal of mind and change of heart as we move forward into the event of light in the lamp. A biblical verse, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness is not overcome. With great reverence, we invite the chief guest, guests of honor, and other representatives to join us in the sacred ritual of light in the lamp. A countless tradition that signifies the triumph of light over darkness and the pursuit of excellence.
Very good morning to all present here. I extend a warm welcome to all the dignitaries, distinguished guests, dear students, colleagues from the health department and the media for having assembled here on this World TB Day 2026 celebrations and also the launch of yet another 100-day campaign of TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyaan. It's my proud privilege to welcome the Chief Guest of the occasion, Dr. Sajid Sindhe sir, Commissioner from Secretary Health and Nicobar Administration. I express my deepest gratitude, sir, to you for placing this occasion as chief guest. Your decisive leadership has been instrumental in guiding us towards better outcomes in the health sector. I also extend a warm welcome to Srimati Vandana Rao, Secretary Health and Mission Director in NHM, assuming charges very recently. She has done a comprehensive analysis of the health sector and also suggested corrective measures in a very short duration. Now, your dedication inspires all of us to perform better and give better outcomes in all the health programs and the healthcare delivery. Welcome. I also welcome all the directors, Director Health Services, Director ANEMS, representative from ICMR to this function. I also welcome the program officers and other staff of the health department who have joined us. And I also extend a warm welcome to the Nicobar. You have been our backbone of the program, supporting us by helping the TB patients through providing nutritional kits. And that has gone a long way in getting better treatment outcomes for the TB patients in this islands. I also welcome the media and also the students from the various educational institutions who are coming. So coming to the presentation, I will be making a presentation showing some basic facts about the disease and how the various scientific discoveries and findings from various studies and surveys have helped us to understand the disease better and strategy and also helped us to formulate the strategy as to how to combat the disease. Basically, the scheme Bharat Abhiyaan, where the components are all derived from the knowledge we have from various studies and scientific discoveries. And in the end, I will also try to show what activities or what progress we have made in our islands. So this is the global scenario. TB
continues to be a major public health problem across the world and more so in our country. You can see that according to the global TB report published, 1 crore cases happen across the world, and out of that, 27 lakh happened in our country. So that is a great proportion. And if you look at the incidence per lakh, it's 134 per lakh globally, whereas it is 195 per lakh in our country. And then also the mortality due to TB, when 12 lakh people die across the world due to TB, 3.32 lakhs happen in our country. And also the proportion of multi-drug resistant TB is also about 29 to 0.29 lakhs in our country. So what we have done, the 192 member countries of the United Nations in 2015 agreed upon the Sustainable Development Goals. As we all know, there are 17 goals, and in that goal number 3 is regarding health, achieving health for all. And under the health, there is specific goals for tuberculosis. So the countries decided that by 2030, we will decrease the incidence of tuberculosis by 80% when compared to 2015, and also the deaths due to tuberculosis by 90% by 2030. And also, nobody should be incurring catastrophic expenditure for the treatment of tuberculosis. So these were the goals set by the member countries as part of SDG, and all of us are working towards it. But still, we have a long way to go to achieve this. Now, coming to the discovery, as was already mentioned during by our anchor. So this is one major discovery which proved a game changer against tuberculosis. Now, if you look at literature, tuberculosis has been there for more than even since it was discovered. That it is there. It was there 70,000 years back also, and we did not know what the cause was. And millions of people have died due to tuberculosis. But only 144 years back, when Dr. Robert Koch discovered this bacteria, the world came to know that this disease is because of this bacteria. Microscopically, it appears like pink rods, as you can see in the picture. So the enemy was discovered only 144 years back, the enemy which was responsible for deaths of millions and millions of people. And even after the discovery of this bacilli, the treatment came very late, actually only about 50 years back. In 1940s, the drugs started coming, and also only in 1970s, the four drugs for tuberculosis were discovered and proper treatment was started. So here we can imagine that years of uninterrupted transmission was happening because nobody knew how this was caused. And only solution available before the drugs were available was these people were isolated, given good food and good air, and we hope that they recover. But 50% of them died. So that was the plight of TB patients before drugs came in 1970s. So if you look at the slide, this is another important discovery made where it showed that the tuberculosis is spread through air. It is an airborne disease, and the person spreading it is an active TB case of pulmonary TB. I use the word active here because the person suffering from pulmonary TB, the TB of the lungs, it is he only who is the source of infection. He only spreads the disease. And such a person coughs or sneezes or speaks loudly, the bacilli are released into the air in the form of droplets, and it is inhaled by the other persons who are in the vicinity. And as we all know, nobody can survive without breathing. So when you breathe, these bacilli go inside. So this is a very important information because based on this only the strategies are formed. Now we know that only the patient with pulmonary TB, active TB, is the cause of the infection or spreading the disease. So then what is the preventive measure? Preventive measure is that we have to find out all cases who are suffering from active pulmonary TB and treat them. Because once you treat them, studies have shown that within 3 days the bacterial load becomes so low that he will not be able to transmit the disease to the others. So another point which this diagram shows us is from the preventive point of view, it spreads through air. So that's why we advocate that anyone having cough should be wearing a mask, and the others who don't have any, they travel to crowded areas should also wear masks, or while coughing, you should cough into your elbow, cough etiquette and all. So then these things are always said, and as part of IUC we often do it, but the point is how many people follow this. So as long as this is an airborne infection, we have to do this, otherwise the infection will be spreading. So the next question arises, whether all the people who are exposed to this TB pathogen, do they get the disease? What is the difference between getting the disease and getting exposed? In the previous slide on the left side, I showed the person who was coughing, and the other side was the person who was exposed to it. Now, again, studies showed that out of those exposed, 70% clear the bacilli immediately. 70% of the people are healthy. The bacteria is not able to localize itself or stay in the lungs. Their other mechanisms are so strong that they expel the bacteria immediately. So 70% are safe immediately, even if they are exposed to the bacteria. The remaining 30%, the bacteria is able to enter and the immune system localizes it in the lungs. So this type of situation is called latent TB, where the bacteria is there in the lungs, but the patient or the person does not have any symptom. So if I have to talk about the profile of a latent TB case, it will be like anyone sitting in this room. There will be no symptoms. If you take an X-ray, there will be no changes. If you take a CT scan, no changes. If you try to test the sputum, the bacteria will not be found. Because only a few bacteria are there, the immune system is taking care of it. It is there. Bacteria are not multiplying. Bacteria are not causing disease. So here I use the term latent TB or TB infection. So that is different from TB disease. The picture which I showed in the previous slide was of a TB disease or active TB disease, where the person was having cough symptoms, he was excreting the bacilli. But the person who is exposed, out of those exposed, 70% are clear the bacteria immediately. Remaining 30%, the bacteria are localized by the immune system. So that situation is called latent TB. Then what happens? Out of those 30% who have latent TB, only 10% go on to develop active TB disease at some point in their life. And of that 10%, 5% will develop somewhere in the first year itself. So that is what this is being shown in this slide. So again, what is the importance? When I say it's 5%, 10%, it will be, we'll feel that it is less. But again, we have studies which show that what is the magnitude of latent TB in our country. The reason which I will talk in the next slide, the National Prevalence TB Prevalence Study showed that 31% of individuals in the country above 50 years are having latent TB. 31%. So 31% of the Indian population above 50 years, if we take it is like 40 crore. Or even if we take for the islands, if the population is 2.5 lakh above 50, or 75,000 people will be suffering from, will be not suffering, if not usable suffering, will be having latent TB. So again, this study, 2019 to 21, it was the first time after independence, Government of India conducted this study for National TB Prevalence Study across all states of the country except Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep. So this was conducted by the ICMR to assess the burden of the disease. So burden of the disease also was found to be very high, some 312 cases per lakh population, and also it threw up many findings. It showed that, I am not going to go into the details of all this, like these are the individuals whom the maximum TB cases occur. They found that out of all the TB cases, 80% is happening in people who are having these risk factors. So the strategy came, we will concentrate on these people. We will find out all these people who belong to this vulnerable category and screen them whether they are having active TB or not. If they are not having active TB, then we will check they are having latent TB, and if latent TB is there, we will give them a TB preventive treatment. So that is the strategy that came up in the TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyaan campaign. So these are other vulnerable groups. So the other findings of the prevalence study was that 64% of people do not seek medical help for their symptoms. They do not recognize the symptoms. Khansi hai, so they don't think it could be TB. They go to the medical shop, buy some cough syrup and go on. So then it could be TB and then they will be spreading the infection. So then what is the remedy for this? Again, awareness. We should make people aware what are the symptoms of TB. So initially we were just looking at 4 symptoms of TB for screening. Now the Government of India has come up with this 10 symptom list. All the health workers are taught that 10 symptom screening should be done for all the individuals so that we do not miss any cases. So in addition to the lungs, the TB can affect any other organs of our body, and depending on the different organs affected, the symptoms will also be. So how do we test for TB? It is very simple. We do a chest X-ray, and also we test the sputum sample for what is called a NAG test. So all these things are available in our islands, across the islands. So now we also have a new weapon in our arsenal, that is called the handheld X-ray. 2 machines are there in each of the districts. So with this handheld X-ray, we can go to the community and screen everyone to check if they are having any lung lesion or not. Specifically the groups which I enlisted in the TB. NAT test is the standard now that is available. 10 machines are available in our islands across the islands. This is the side TB test which I was So I think when we come to the TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyaan strategy, it is just a repetition of what I was telling. So early detection is very important. So we have to identify and screen all the vulnerable individuals, like I said. And handheld X-rays should be used. And sputum NAT has to be done whenever there are symptoms or there is some problem abnormality in the X-ray.
आप सभी वर्ल्ड टीबी दिवस शुभकामनाएं। वर्ल्ड टीबी डे की शुभकामनाएं देने जैसा ये क्या चीज है? शुभकामनाएं किसका? जैसे कि डॉक्टर साहब ने दिखाया था, ये टीबी जो बीमारी है सदियों से ह्यूमैनिटी के साथ रही है। ह्यूमैनिटी काफी समय इसको पूरी मानवता के खिलाफ उसने जंग छेड़ी थी। उस जंग को हमने एक्नॉलेज करके उसको जीतने की जो मैंने अपनी भावनाएं ध्यान दी है, उसके लिए मैं आप सभी को शुभकामनाएं। जैसे डॉक्टर राम ने पहले कहा, जो उनका आखिरी सेंटेंस था वो ये था कि लेट्स एंड टीबी टुगेदर, आगे चलते टुगेदर। सवाल ये उठता है कि क्या हम टीबी को अंत कर पाएंगे, टीबी का अंत कर पाएंगे? 20 साल पहले जब मेडिकल कॉलेज में बाकी जगह पे जब टीबी के बारे में जिक्र करते थे तो ये बोलते थे कि हम टीबी को कंट्रोल करें, लेट्स कंट्रोल करिए। वही सरकार का प्रोग्राम था कि हम अब इसको कंट्रोल में लाना। पर देश ने जो तरक्की की है उसके चलते चलते अब हम इस मुकाम पे पहुंचे हैं कि हम ये बोल रहे हैं कि टीबी को एलिमिनेट कर दें। तो ये जो पड़ाव है वो काफी मेहनत के बाद में आया है, काफी साइंटिफिक कम्युनिटी के इंटरवेंशन से आया है। और जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है, जिससे ये टीबी की एलिमिनेशन की प्रोसेस जो है वो बहुत फास्ट ट्रैक होगी, ऐसे प्रतीत हो रहा है। क्यों? क्योंकि उसमें कम्युनिटी जुड़ी है। कोई भी डिसीज होता है बॉडी में तो वो केवल डिसीज एक ऑर्गेनिज्म होता है और बॉडी के सराउंडिंग के साथ में इंटरेक्शन होता है। तो इस बार जो बेसिकली जो हम कम्युनिटी इन्वॉल्वमेंट है वो निक्षेपित करा जो है हमारा, जो कम्युनिटी सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं, वो न्यूट्रिशनल सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। तो जब एक कोई भी लड़ाई कम्युनिटी मिल के लड़ती है तब किसी भी चीज का, किसी भी प्रॉब्लम का अंत होना ये स्वाभाविक है। तो मैं बहुत बहुत बधाइयां देता हूँ निक्षेपित क्लास की, जिन्होंने पिछले साल से कई सालों से हमारे साथ में जुड़ रहे हैं। We must give them a big round of applause to all the nikshepiत class who are active with us. दूसरा इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है जो कम्युनिटी हेल्थ वर्कर्स हैं, जो हमारी आशाएं हैं और जो नर्सिंग के बाकी दूसरे जो लोग हैं, इनकी बहुत ज्यादा इसमें एक्टिव उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन होने की वजह से ही ये टीबी का अंत होना संभवता की तरफ जा रहा है। जो 40-45 की उम्र है वो लोग जानते होंगे कि उनको जब आप वैक्सीनेशन करते हैं, स्मॉल पॉक्स नाम का भी एक वैक्सीन दिया जाता है। पर अभी स्मॉल पॉक्स का वैक्सीनेशन की जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि हमने उसके ऊपर ऑलरेडी हमने जीत हासिल कर दी है। तो ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि आगे कुछ दिनों में टीबी का जो वैक्सीन है, जो बीसीजी वैक्सीन है, आने वाले 20-30 साल के बाद जनरेशन की शायद जरूरत ना हो। मैं अंडमान एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट को भी बहुत बहुत बधाइयां देता हूँ एंड दे आल्सो डिजर्व टू बी अपलॉडेड फॉर देयर लास्ट ईयर परफॉर्मेंस। जब हम लोगों को एक्टिव जो सर्वे करना था, क्या करना था, वल्नरेबल पॉपुलेशन की जो स्क्रीनिंग करनी थी, उसमें अंडमान निकोबार वो नंबर 1 उसकी रैंकिंग है, जिसके मैं सारे हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट के सभी अफसरों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूँ एंड यू ऑल डिजर्व स्पेशल राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर अचीविंग दिस। तीसरा एस्पेक्ट है कि हमारे काबा बहुत कम है। ऑल्दो हम लोग आयरलैंड में हमारा स्प्रेड आउट हुआ है, बट जो हमारी पॉपुलेशन है 5 लाख की पॉपुलेशन। तो विद दिस लॉन्च ऑफ टीबी मुक्त भारत अभियान, ये 100 डेज जो हमारे अभी कैंपेनिंग होगी, तो उस कैंपेन को हम बहुत मिशन मोड पर एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे एंड वी विल अगेन रिप्ले we will defend our number 1 position that we have acquired in one parameter. अब हम लोग को नेक्स्ट पैरामीटर पे जाना है जो है एक्टिव केस फाइंडिंग। इन पैरामीटर्स पे भी आप सभी लोग मेहनत करके इसको इसको आप बहुत अच्छे से इस प्रोग्राम को इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करोगे, मुझे आशा ही नहीं बल्कि एक कॉन्फिडेंस भी है कि द हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट विल एक्टिवली अचीव एंड रिटेन दैट टारगेट.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insight. Skip that speaks, awareness that lasts. You will be present with the skip performance with the motive of creating awareness and encouraging reflection on the theme of today's event. Yes, we can end TV led by Bharat, powered by CAMERAMAN. We appreciate the effort and dedication that has gone into this preparation by Voice Entertainment.
थोड़ा काम काज कर लिया कर, ऐसे चिल्ला चिल्ला कर गाने से घर में रोटी नहीं आती. जा कहीं जाकर काम कर तूने, नहीं तो कटोरा लेकर भीख मांगता रहेगा. जब देखो चिल्ला चिल्ला कर गाते रहता है और क्यों रात कासते रहता है. क्या करोगे इसका? देखिएगा पिताजी, एक दिन मैं बड़ा आदमी बन जाऊंगा ना, टीवी पर आऊंगा तो सारी दुनिया मेरी आवाज टीवी पर सुनेगी. हाँ देख लूंगा टीवी पर. बाबूजी प्रणाम. लो रिकॉर्ड लगा गया, एक गा रहा है एक नाच रहा है. दोनों जोड़ी सही है. तू भी कटोर ले ले और काम आएगा. भीख मांगने के लिए नाम जाने क्या होगा. अरे भाई क्या भाई क्या चल रहा है? बस यार कोई ऑडिशन की प्रैक्टिस है ना. अरे भाई तू एक हफ्ते से क्लास रहा है. जाकर मेडिकल दिखा ले, दवाई वही ले ले. नहीं यार मेरे पास उतना टाइम नहीं है. कल ऑडिशन है, अगर मैंने अच्छा गाना गाया तो मुझे देख नहीं सकता है. वहाँ बड़े बड़े प्रोड्यूसर डायरेक्टर आने वाले हैं. क्यों बात कर रहे हैं? मैं सही बात कर रहा हूँ. और सुना है वहाँ भी कुछ चैटर्जी आने वाले हैं. और सुना है बहुत ही बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है उनका. अच्छा तो मैं भी तुम्हारे साथ चलता हूँ. मैं तो तुम्हारा लकी चाहूंगा. तो जो बड़ा सिंगर बन जाएगा तो मुझे 55 इंच के एलईडी टीवी दिखा मिलेगा. उसी टीवी में तुम्हारा गाना देखूंगा. क्यों क्या होता है? हाँ चल ठीक है. देखूंगा. नमस्कार भैया. डॉक्टर साहब ये मेरा दोस्त है रोहित. ये एक हफ्ते से बड़ी जोरों से खांसता रहता है. डॉक्टर साहब इसका इलाज करवा दीजिए प्लीज. ठीक है घबराने की कोई बात नहीं. मैं आपको चेक कर लेता हूँ. ये खांसी आपको कब से हुई? जी डॉक्टर साहब लगभग 10-12 दिन से खांसी चल रही है. तो आपको ऐसे लगेगा कि बीच में आपका वेट लॉस हो रहा है, वीकनेस बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है. जी डॉक्टर साहब कमजोरी तो होती है, रात को थोड़ा बुखार भी रहता है और लगता है कि मेरा वजन भी कम हो रहा है. ठीक है भाई मैं आपको कुछ टेस्ट लिखता हूँ. ठीक है साहब मैं एक्सरे ये आपका ब्लड फिर इसका रिपोर्ट मुझे ठीक है. जी जी डॉक्टर साहब. मेरे घर से हाँ करवाने के लिए कहा था सर, ये रिपोर्ट आई थी। हाँ देखो आप रिपोर्ट से पता चला है कि आपको ट्यूबरक्लोसिस क्या क्यों सर? ट्यूबरक्लोसिस मतलब टीबी। डॉक्टर साहब मैं तो किसी तरह का नशा भी नहीं करता, सिगरेट और तंबाकू बीड़ी जर्दा ये सब मैंने कभी इस्तेमाल नहीं किया सर, लेकिन मुझे क्यों ये बीमारी हुई? जरूरी नहीं है कि टीबी उसी को है जो धूम्रपान आदि से होता है। डॉक्टर साहब अगले महीने मेरे गाने का रिकॉर्डिंग सर, और ये मेरी जिंदगी का बहुत अहम दिन है। मैंने बचपन से दिन का इंतजार किया सर, क्या मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगा? देखो रोहित, इस वक्त में ट्रीटमेंट की जरूरत है, नहीं तो ये बीमारी तुम्हारे लिए जानलेवा साबित हो सकती है। सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि टीबी का इलाज हमारे देश में मुफ्त में होता है। बस जरूरत है समय पर जांच कराने की और हमारे द्वारा दी गई दवाइयों का कोर्स पूरा करने की। ठीक है, पौष्टिक आहार खाएं और अपने इम्यून सिस्टम को बढ़ाएं। खांसते छींकते समय मुंह को ढकें और साफ सफाई पूरा रखें। और सबसे जरूरी बात, दवाई के बीच में बिल्कुल ना छूटें। रोहित, मैंने दवाइयां दी है, इसे ले लो और आज से खाना शुरू करो। और एवरी वीक चेकअप करवाते रहो। जी जी डॉक्टर साहब। किसी को 2 हफ्ते से ज्यादा लगातार खांसी, बलगम में खून, वजन कम होना या रात में पसीने आए तो वह टीबी के लक्षण हो सकते हैं। टीबी से डरने की नहीं, जागरूक होने की जरूरत है। आइए हम सब मिलकर यह संदेश फैलाएं, खांसी 2 हफ्ते से ज्यादा हो तो तुरंत जांच कराएं। टीबी का इलाज संभव है, बस पूरा कोर्स करना जरूरी है। और निक्षय पोषण योजना के तहत रोगी को हर माह उसके इलाज के लिए 1000 रुपए भी प्राप्त होगा और निक्षय वितरण योजना के तहत उसे हर माह का राशन भी दिया जाएगा। और 6 महीने के ट्रीटमेंट के बाद रोहित भी बिल्कुल ठीक हो गया।
Today we here felicitate our Nikshay Mitras who have not only extended generous support to the TB patient but stood with us on our journey. I welcome Nikshay Mitra Kochik Shipyard Limited onto the stage. I welcome Nikshay Mitra Aniko onto the stage. Welcome Nikshay Mitra Prayag JSC Society onto the stage. Thank you all the Nikshay Mitras for your contribution. Now, we also would like to invite Aap Tak Andaman. TB Champion Speech Competition, first place goes to Praveen Lakra. Third place goes to Sukanchana Mandal. Speech competition of Anganwadi workers dairy farm, first place goes to S. Usharani. Second place goes to Prabha Kiran Tilli. Third place goes to Atta Pakala Aruna. Tergov Government. Second place goes. Third place goes to Meghna Karmakar. Second place goes to J. Ananya. Third place goes to Sharon George. I would also like to call the Nikshay Mitra Gayatri Parivar onto the stage.
टीबी का उन्मूलन करने और अपने केंद्र शासित प्रदेश के लोगों के बीच टीबी के प्रति जागरूकता बढ़ाने की दिशा में कार्य करने का अपनी लोगों और परिवारों को उत्तम स्वास्थ्य सेवाएं मिले इसके लिए प्रतिबद्ध हूँ। मैं यह भी सुनिश्चित करूंगा कि वे लोग फिर से स्वस्थ और सम्मानित जीवन जी सकें। मैं सत्यनिष्ठा से प्रण लेता हूँ कि टीबी के उपचार को और भी सुलभ कराने के लिए अपने केंद्र शासित प्रदेश के सरकारी संस्थानों जनप्रतिनिधियों और सभी हितधारकों के साथ मिलकर काम करूंगा। मैं टीबी मुक्त भारत अभियान को सफल बनाने में सहयोग करूंगा जो मेरे केंद्र शासित प्रदेश को टीबी मुक्त बनाएगा। मैं भारत को टीबी मुक्त बनाने के स्वप्न को साकार करने में अपना पूर्ण योगदान टीबी करेगा देश जीतेगा। जय हिंद।